Robert Kiyosaki is literally the living god of real estate.
Well, obviously he's not literally that. He's figuratively that. So, welcome to Bursting Bubbles. Let's have a look at what these pair of jokers have got to say. I think most of it's going to be nonsense, but this is my first reaction. And if I say things, I will, of course, bring evidence, unlike these people, I suspect. So, here we go, people. Strap in. He's about to get angry.
Is the money system rigged?
You want to get me in trouble, don't you?
It is rigged. It's rigged by people like Robert here, and you'll see why in a moment. So let's have a look and see how much evidence Robert brings to this absurd statement.
Right.
So what we're looking at today is the end of the American empire. So it's a very dangerous time. It's explosive, with Palestine and
Ooh, scary, scary.
Gaza.
You can't even remember who's involved.
It's an end of times. Not biblical, but just an end of an era. And the trouble when this comes to an end, war follows.
This is all very scaremongery, isn't it? Now, according to Wikipedia, this guy gets between $30,000 and $50,000 for turning up in a podcast like this. So I'm guessing he's just here to make as much noise, be as much heat and as little light as possible. But as we watch, and we're not going to watch all hour of this madness, let's see how much evidence he brings to support any of his positions.
That's what I'm afraid of. I went to Vietnam twice. I was a pilot in Vietnam, so I saw war, and but we're in dangerous times.
So if we're seeing the end of fiat currency as we know it, where do you think money moves to?
Good question. This here is a 1964 half dollar. 1964 was the year that this was real silver. But in 1964, the U.S. was now from England, the torch was passed to America. That was 1944, Bretton Woods and all this. And so America was the power. But every empire ends when they debase the currency. So this was 64. I was 17 years old. I remember looking, oh, it's nice, And then one day, I also...
Okay, so he's going to go on now, because I don't think I could be bothered watching it all. He's going to go on about how as soon as you decouple your currency from gold or silver, or maybe both, then your economy's in trouble. Well, the US actually started that process in the 30s. It stopped the gold standard in 1971, and it was sort of pegged-ish to the dollar. Sorry, to dollar was to gold. And just to give you a sense of how much worse things have got since 1971, the US economy is presently 27 times larger than it was in 1971. So why is it crashing? And why are things worse now than they were in 1971? Let's listen to Robert bring evidence. My evidence is on screen right now.
Looked up, and some of the coins look like this.
And that is?
This is pure gold.
Yeah, 1 ounce.
Okay, but I look it up and go, oh my God, why does this coin have copper on it? And that was the end of the empire. Every empire dies when they violate this, when they change the money. So congratulations on all your success about being a real estate guy, because this was 64, then 71. President Nixon took the dollar off of the gold standard.
And the economy
and the
took
reason
off.
You're doing so well today is because the dollar became debt.
Now, interesting enough, he's like, we're not doing so well today because the dollar became debt. And he's going to explain how actually anyone who saves money is an idiot, and everyone who takes out loans and works on debt like him is apparently a genius. Another word is parasite on society.
Right? So real estate guys, like my friend Trump and all that, we get rich using debt.
How many times did Trump go bankrupt? I've forgotten now. Is it 6 or 7?
As the average person is told to work hard, this is toilet paper, save this, stay out of debt. And they're going broke today. I'm afraid for the average punter out there, you know.
Why are you afraid for them? You're a parasite on them.
So we're in serious trouble because with the end of the American empire, is China going to take over?
No,
I don't know.
their economy is
Red
collapsing.
Alert, so.
For me to get rich, I had to use debt. But what do our schools teach us? Stay out of debt. That's how stupid school teachers are. Debt makes guys like you and me rich. And ironically, because we use debt, we don't pay any taxes.
Right. I mean, interesting. So you're basically fully admitting that you are a complete boil on the backside of society. I don't pay any taxes. School teachers are all Marxists because apparently, they actually feel that educating the next generation is a ridiculous thing to want to do. And they believe in paying taxes and being a member of society. You are literally a leech on society. I mean, I can tell that just from looking at you. Well, not looking at you, that's not fair. From hearing what you have to say. And if anyone wants other evidence of this, probably go and have a look at his Wikipedia page.
Angry.
I'm not an academic type, but it makes me angry that you don't do anything other than leech off our society. What else would you expect normal people to do? Oh, it's fine that you don't pay any tax. Oh, good luck to you. Screw you, son.
Is you learn to use debt and you pay less taxes.
So what you just said was the American economy, after it moved to floating the dollar, the US floated the dollar and the empire collapsed and then it became debt and then you became rich. I don't know any other way than you basically admitting I am the problem in the world that we see today.
Would you rather have this piece of toilet paper? Would you rather have this piece of silver? Or would you rather have gold?
Well, okay, so interestingly enough, and we'll shove them up on screen now, let's have a look at the gold and silver prices in real terms over the last 50 years. Maybe we'll make it last 100 years. What you'll see is that, yes, gold prices have recently, in the last 5 years or so, gone up. So if you only look back 5 years, you think gold is a one-way bet. But if you look back over a protracted period of time, it isn't a one-way bet. It is speculation. So sure, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't own some gold, but it should be part of a portfolio, not the end game. And silver, the highest price for silver ever was in 1980. So what if you bought at the top of the market? You'd be screwed. Oh, and but this guy, I suspect, is also very big in gold. And therefore, what's he come on the show to do? Bit of hocus pocus, collect his check, and try and push up the value of gold by getting lots of people to buy it.
The average person wants the paper. This is toilet paper. And that's why people are in trouble today, because America is about to crash, as you know.
I love how they do this. America's about to crash, as you know. Yeah, I mean, of course, all the clever people know America's about to crash. Got any evidence? Any evidence to support this? I mean, the US dollar is such toilet paper that it's 60% of all the reserve currency on the planet. The next highest, the euro, with 23%. You want to talk about China taking over? Well, the Chinese are so confident in their own currency, as is the rest of the world, that 2%, about 2.3% of all reserve currency is in yuan. So I don't see where your evidence comes from that the US economy is about to crash. You're just talking up the value of gold, which you just happen to be a large investor in.
Serious trouble. The country is in debt, and we have this guy Biden putting us more in debt. The first thing that Biden...
Just to confirm, actually Trump put with the tax breaks for the likes of this fella, was the one who really accelerated the debt problem. Now, I'm not suggesting debt isn't a problem, but then he's also talking in circles, isn't he? Because he said people who save are idiots, and then said the Japanese are great because they save. And then he says debt is terrible because the US economy is in loads of debt. So which is it?
Biden did when he came to office. I'm an oil guy. I went to school for oil. I drove tankers with Standard Oil. Today, the spooky thing about the world economy is the gap between rich and poor getting wider.
The rich and poor are getting, the group is getting wider. I wonder why that is. Do you think it's because school teachers have to pay for their own supplies because rich people like Robert here work the system to make certain they don't have to pay any tax? So the US is 25 times richer than it was in 1971, and most of that money appears to have gone to the top 0.001%, like Robert here. So I'm feeling the crocodile tears when he says, oh, poor old mum and pop. How about you pay some tax, son? Actually contribute to society.
Because people are working for this and not this and this here. So the question I ask people, which is a better investment? Gold, silver, or paper?
Well, I think
all of them, probably all of them, in some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Diversified portfolio. That's the answer. And don't be a scumbag. Actually pay tax. Okay, I think we've had enough of Robert for today. Listen to 14 minutes of this madness. So, you know what? He might be right. But he hasn't brought any evidence to support his position at all. And the advice I can give to all of you viewers is, as a non-financial advisor, but someone who actually wears his grey hair with pride, unlike Robert there, I can look at it and go, have a balanced portfolio. Don't get yourself into huge amounts of debt. And sure, buy a bit of gold, buy a bit of silver, buy a bit of Bitcoin if you really want to. But let's have a balanced portfolio, people. Remember, this guy, he left the Marine Corps as a helicopter pilot. I thank him for his service and all of that. And then he became a salesman. And he's always been a salesman. And he's selling ideas. But if you actually listen to the ideas, they go round in circles. They don't make a lot of sense. And he doesn't ever actually tell you what to do. Because he is on this call show for an hour. And he's making $1,000 a minute doing so, allegedly, according to Wikipedia. So he's just there to make noises and to scare you into doing something crazy. And I think that sort of thing needs to be pointed out. And in the next one, let's go and find a Marxist to pull the legs off of, because I want to be a balanced disliker of all of them. All right, folks, see you soon.